Hey everyone, welcome back to the lab. In this video, we're going to be talking about server-side HTML rendering with F# and Giraffe.ViewEngine. So I've been experimenting with different paradigms for server-side HTML rendering with F#. Started with scribon templates, which you can read more about here, and then went into raw string interpolation, which you can read about in this blog post. But both of these approaches have drawbacks that prevent them from utilizing the full power of F#. For scribon templates, it sacrifices build time type safety as data population errors won't be hit until runtime. So the way that these templates work, you've got this HTML template thing, which probably has some templating language in it, like iterations or if-else conditionals, things like that. And then you're going to parse that thing to see if it's like a valid template. So that's one area that you won't catch till runtime of when you actually parse it. And then the second one is when you actually go to connect the data that you have with the actual template model on the inside. And so that's another version of a runtime error because you're not actually sharing the type system between the template string and the actual data model or language. So that's the drawback of scribon templates that I found. And really, templating languages in general that don't use the power of the surrounding language. For raw string interpolation, it's more type safe, but you can't nest verbatim strings, which means you often need to split up markup generation across many locations, sacrificing logic locality. And so what I mean by this is F# basically allows you to do raw strings on multiple lines using triple quotes, which is called a verbatim string. And so you can basically write out your HTML exactly as you want it rendered, with all of its different tags on different lines and all of its like tabs and stuff like that. But if you want to do one of those like if-else conditionals or, these for each loops that also require these verbatim strings, because maybe you're going to not just do a text multiple times, but you'll need like a tag that it flows to multiple lines multiple times, you actually can't do that, at least not in line, because you can't have nested verbatim strings. And so the way that you end up doing this is by pulling out the things that you're going to be rendering into another variable or another function call, which then effectively means that you can't build a full template all in one place. And so you lose the locality benefit of readability, which can make building these large documents, especially for HTML markup, quite hard to parse and reason about. Now, HTML DSLs, or domain-specific languages like Giraffe.ViewEngine, offer an alternative paradigm for HTML rendering, which leans into F#. So it leans into that type safety, all the nice features that we get, theoretically solving for both of these issues. In this post, we'll explore building simple HTML pages with Giraffe.ViewEngine. So the main question we're trying to solve here is, do F# HTML DSLs like Giraffe.ViewEngine, so does this paradigm actually offer better HTML developer experience as opposed to these other? And here's my overall answer. So overall, I think Giraffe.ViewEngine offers an excellent balance between type safety, DevX, and performance. I just did an in-depth benchmark here, which shows that Giraffe.ViewEngine is actually very, very, very fast. The DSL approach to building HTML won't be for everyone, but does offer some significant perks should you choose to go all in on F#. And I'll be honest, I'm still not totally sold on the DSL approach. It does get a little bit too far from HTML, but I do think if you're okay with this, it'll take you pretty far. So the first thing we get is type safety. And everything, or this is because everything is actually just F#, including the markup that you're building. So you're not doing any like weird JSX, like for React, where it's not JavaScript, it's not HTML, it's just like this middle land new markup that's never existed before. It's not raw string HTML, it's literally just F#. That's all it is. So you get the full power of the type system and its build time checks, and of course, any of the features that you would normally use to build up an F# list or any of these F# native data structures, you can just use here natively. And this is what leads to the second benefit, which is markup locality. So because we are now using pure F# as opposed to, nested strings or again, some random other syntax, we're able to do all of our conditionals and iterations or any other kind of like nested logic that we need for a part of a document in line, just as you would with normal lists or really any kind of like F# native data structure. And so this is going to allow for more localized markup, which can be easier to read and maintain if you're okay with the DSL style. And so again, this is so that, if we're doing iterations and stuff, we don't have to split it up across functions. We can actually just have it directly in the template while still getting all of the type safety of the F# language. Okay, so in the rest of this post, we'll be building a simple HTML page that renders a table of random data populated every time you hit the page. This will offer a simple demonstration for how Giraffe.ViewEngine works for rendering basic HTML. And so here's that basic table that I've been using for a lot of my examples and experiments for these other kind of rendering paradigms. So it should look familiar. And I'm going to show you in a demo in a second, but first just a quick walkthrough. Basically, I've just got an endpoint on localhost/sentinels. Just going to make a table, and then every time we're going to hit this, it's going to create a new line item, and then it's going to render us all of the line items that we've seen before and that we've saved off to our database. So I'm going to demo in a second, but first, this is what the technologies are that are running this. So first, for the app layer, which is basically just our server, we're running F# on Giraffe, and then we're rendering HTML with Giraffe.ViewEngine. Giraffe here and Giraffe here are the same thing, but they split out the view engine because they realized a lot of people might want to render HTML using this engine without, maybe serving it with Giraffe. Maybe you want to serve it with ASP.NET or MVC or, whatever it is you want. So these are the same, but you can use them separately. For the data side of things, we're using Entity Framework with Postgres because I found this is like basically the easiest way to do data with F# so far. And then for hosting, we're using Docker and Docker Compose because I just find this way easier to actually get up and running with whatever new dependencies I want to throw in here. Now, some caveats. This stack is overkill for this demonstration, but it offers a semi-realistic environment for rendering HTML, and I like to have all my examples be at least semi-realistic so we can kind of sanity check that, we're not just doing this in a vacuum and it doesn't actually work in the real world. We'll be focusing on the Giraffe view engine rendering and all the source code I showed you in this post, but the full project source code is available in the HAMY Labs example code repo here and available to all Communion subscribers. And if you haven't seen this before, this is my big repo where I've got like dozens of example projects doing all sorts of things with F# and C# and Svelte. So if you're interested in getting access to that, check out this page here. Okay, and then one last warning is if you've never used Giraffe before, you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say Giraffe, you might want to check out this post, Build a Simple F# Web API with Giraffe, which is like the intro to this web server or web framework. So probably look at that and then come back here to learn more about the HTML rendering. Okay, so now before we go into how this is built, let me actually show you an example of this running. So here is, I've got this running on localhost 5001, and here we are at the Sentinels URL. And basically every time I reload this page, it's going to create another row, and then it's just going to show me all of the data it has. So effectively, every time I hit this, we're just creating a new row and then displaying it. So the first thing is installation, and all we need is the library here, Giraffe.ViewEngine. Here's the official GitHub for it. And if you have the .NET CLI installed, just run it this. If you don't, definitely just install it. It's going to make your life a lot easier. And this will install it here from NuGet, which is the package manager for .NET and thus for F#. Now, one thing to call out that a lot of people kind of get stuck up on is this thing hasn't been updated since 2021. This is reasonable to, be cause for alarm because you don't want to build your thing on a package that's not updated and might come out of date. But this is an example of a package that's like more or less complete. And this is an idea of code completeness that you see a lot in the Rust language where they're trying to build code that lasts like 1,000 years. I think F# community has a little bit of less hopes and dreams for that. But I think the idea that these code packages can last for at least a decade, at least 5 years, without being updated because they're just complete and there's nothing else they need, is actually pretty common in the community. So yes, this hasn't been updated since 21, but it also hasn't needed any updates. And as we'll kind of see later, and I've shown in my other posts, it's actually pretty feature complete and outperforms most other things that are being updated, like monthly. So just a little note there if you're like worried about this at all. Okay, so now that we've got this thing installed, let's go on to talking about rendering a page. And we'll start by talking about how Giraffe View Engine actually works. So it works by building up nested lists of XML nodes. And you can imagine that HTML is just XML, but it's just a certain type of it, of the markup or that format. And as such, each XML node represents a different HTML tag. Like this could be a div or a table or a list item or anything like that. Each one has its own XML node function, if you will, in Giraffe.ViewEngine that you'll call that represents that tag. There's like a one-to-one mapping. So what you're going to do is you're going to build up this like huge list of nested lists of XML nodes. And once you've built up your list of XML nodes, you can convert it to an HTML string so it's recognizable as HTML and renderable by the browser. And so because we have this like one-to-one mapping of XML nodes to these HTML tags, obviously if we can build it here in this list, then we should be able to turn that into the string that represents the entire DOM item of HTML. And so to give you a quick example, basically most tags will take in 2 lists, though some may only take in 1 if they don't support children. So you can imagine like a script tag, like you wouldn't expect there to be a children in the script tag because it's just like a one-liner, or like a BR, which I think is like break, like it doesn't have children. So it wouldn't have these lists, but most elements, do have attributes and they do have children. So the first thing is the attributes for things like, this is like your CSS classes. This is like where you put the ID. If we're using HTMX, this is where your like hxget goes. These are the things that like, they're not children, but they're actually on the tag. Those are attributes. And the next thing is children, because, if you actually look at an HTML document, it's just a bunch of nested tags basically. And so we definitely need this. And so a simple example of this is here would be like our div. And then here is, the the place you'd put all of your attributes in, so your classes and stuff like that. Here we don't have any. And then we have the second list here, which is going to contain our children, and we can see that we can have an H1 here, and we do the same thing. It can take in attributes if we want to add them, and then it can take in stuff, and here we just have text, which is how we're basically HTML encoding just a string. And so at first glance, this is definitely going to look weird, but if you actually think about like what would this look like in HTML, it's not that different. And I guess I should have an example of this somewhere. Okay, so I don't have an example, but like here is one right here. Like hopefully it's clear that, you know, this turns into this. It's just a div and an H1, and we can actually see that even though it looks weird, it's not HTML, it looks different than HTML, it's actually a pretty efficient encoding because we're not doing that much extra stuff here in order to get this. Like there's no class creation, there's no nothing. The actual amount that we're typing in order to get this is about the same. You know, we actually get automatic closed tags, which is also kind of nice, especially if you're working with just raw string. Now this indirection may be off-putting as it is a further abstraction from the underlying HTML model, but it does have some advantages in DevX, as we touched on earlier, and is incredibly fast compared to many other approaches I've tried. And I should put a link to the benchmark I linked to earlier, but this thing is like way faster than just like normal string interpolation. So to render our HTML, we have a main page HTTP handler, which is our entry point from Giraffe, which will process any context we need and call the main render function. And this is just a pattern I use a lot because Giraffe passes in a lot of things that we probably don't need in a lot of our components. So having this kind of like translator between what does the API have and what does our kind of internal renderers need is a nice separation. Then what we're going to do is kind of render our main page async. So this is going to be like for a given page, this is like full service that's doing the rendering. And when you're doing kind of server-side rendering, I found that it's actually nicer to be a little bit more coarse-grained in how you're doing these things. So in React or something, you might have all these like really tiny components. I think for server-side rendering, it's a lot nicer to just have one main kind of URL, if you will, for like a whole page. And then you can filter down from there into all the different components you need based on whatever the URL state is. And so this is what's actually doing that. So it's going to create our new random item so that every time we hit it, we can see that it's changing. It's going to fetch all the random items that we've created so far from the database. And then it's going to build up the actual HTML page that we're going to render in the browser. Next thing we've got is the render sentinel table component. And this is where we're actually taking in all the sentinels we fetched from the database and turning that into an HTML table that we. And so here I've got the code in the blog post, but we'll switch over to the project because we'll get better syntax highlighting. Okay, so hopefully this is readable. And here we just have main page view. I like to have a module for my pages and my views. This helps to split things up, but also helps us to import things without getting naming collisions. There's a lot of HTML tags, so it's best practice to only open up Giraffe.ViewEngine when you need it, so that you avoid any case where like some tag name like form or something might overwrite another, or at least collide with another function that's been named with that. So let's first talk about how we're rendering this table. So we've got this type here, which is just our props, takes in Sentinel. Sentinel is just like two random strings on it. It's just a list. And what we're going to do is we're going to take in these props here, and then we're going to return our XML node, which is just that table component. And so this should look pretty familiar. We're just creating a table here, and then we are creating our head. I'm doing a little list.concat so that we can mix this single item with this list of items. And then here, what we're doing is we're saying, hey, for every Sentinel we have, we need to map over them, and we're going to create a new row for each of these. And so this is just a row, and this is just a cell here and a cell here. So it should look pretty similar to HTML if you just replace these with the actual HTML tags. The form is like very similar to how you'd write this in HTML. Now, the cool thing that this shows us here is that we can do this inline. And you can imagine that, you know, if you were doing string interpolation or you were doing templating, you would have to have kind of like a for each here, and then you'd build up the template down here. But if you were within, you know, a verbatim string, you actually couldn't do this with interpolation. You'd have to build it up out here, which breaks locality. But because we are using straight F#, we can just build inline lists with, you know, our normal map functions, filter functions, accumulators, whatever you're using, and we don't break locality because we can literally just read it here. Now, obviously, if this gets more complicated, you probably would want to move it out somewhere else. But for the most part, when you're rendering these views, it's going to be pretty simple lists and maps and filters. So that's how we get our table. Now let's talk about actually rendering the main page. And so this is kind of like the entrance to our business logic, if you will. We're getting in a service tree, which is how I do dependency injection. We're giving it props, which currently is just the count that we want to return, although this doesn't actually do anything right now. But that's how you might, you know, paginate or something like that. And then what this is going to return is an async XML node. And so this will kind of show you how we can do these kind of IO operations, link this in with our controller and stuff like that. And so here we're just calling a query to get all of our sentinels out. And then we're going to go through them or check the result to make sure that it was okay. If it was like an error, we'll just raise. We didn't see any errors, so this was working fine. And then we're going to send a command to actually go and create a new sentinel. And this is how we're getting that feature of every time we reload, there's new data for us to see. Now we're just creating this template, and we can see that we start with the outer HTML, so it knows that this is the doc type that we have. We have our head here. You could do our meta here. We have a title. You could imagine like if you have scripts or you need to pull in assets or anything like that, this is where you could put that stuff. And then we have the body here. We render our little H1, and then we just call into our table component to build up the actual table that we want to render. Finally, we'll return that here. And then the last thing is this HTTP handler. Again, I like to do this because Giraffe has a little bit of ceremony involved, and so I like to keep this outside of my core rendering logic, if you will. And all this is doing is just calling the page and passing down anything it needs. But you could imagine if like we had some sort of URL parameters or something, this is probably where we grab them and kind of convert them into something usable before passing them down to the domain. Okay, so that's how we're doing HTML. So now that we have our HTML rendering capabilities, we need to actually hook up the endpoint so it can return the HTML table. This is pretty simple and just requires a few lines of code. Now, going into detail about how Giraffe works is beyond the scope of this post. So if you want to learn more about that, check out this post, which is like an overview of Giraffe and how to get started, and then endpoint routing with F# Giraffe, which is more of all the different features and capabilities you have for actually registering your URLs and getting parameters off them and stuff like that. So in the code we're about to look at, we've got a render view here, which is basically a helper middleware for converting from the XML node representation we have with Giraffe.ViewEngine into a string HTML representation. And we've just pulled this out into a middleware so that it's easier to reuse because you can imagine you're probably going to have a lot of URLs doing this. So having some sort of standardization is nice. And then finally, we have construct endpoints, which is a pattern I like to use that's going to create an endpoint list that we can register to Giraffe. And in the example I show you, we're only going to have one URL registered, but you can imagine that if you have a lot of different domains, it's nice to have this kind of pattern because now every domain can construct its endpoints and you can pass it back to your composition root where it will pass it to Giraffe, and that's how you can register for a much larger, more complex app, all of the URLs you need. So the code is there, but we'll also show it to you here. So I have this other module here, Sentinel Endpoints. You can imagine this is like the composition root for the presentation layer of this domain. And the first thing we have is this render view guy, and this is the middleware I'm talking about. This is probably looks really complicated, but all we're saying is like it takes in a handler that will return this async XML node. So this is basically our way of saying it's going to return some sort of HTTP or thing that will return HTML. We're going to have this, which allows this to actually function as a middleware, and we're going to call the handler, which in our case was building the main page XML. And then we're going to take that and we're going to turn it into an HTML string, this. And then finally, we're going to return that using Giraffe's HTML string, which is basically just saying, hey, treat this like HTML, don't treat it like text. Otherwise, it's just going to return this thing as like text and it's not going to be HTML. So that's what this middleware does here. And then let's look at how we actually use it. So here we're actually constructing our endpoints, and we can see that we are registering get route. The route is for /sentinels, the one we've been hitting. We're calling render view, and then what we're going to pass it is that main page HTTP handler that we saw before that actually calls into to render the HTML page. And then so this is going to render the HTML page. It's going to pass back. Render view is going to say, hey, give me that XML node list that you have. I'm going to turn it into a string. And then that's how we're actually returning the string every time. And that's it. A simple HTML page with Giraffe.ViewEngine. Originally, I was pretty against using DSLs for HTML, but as I've used it more, I've begun to warm up to its DevX and performance benefits. If you like this post, you can also like F# HTML rendering benchmarks with Giraffe.ViewEngine. It's really, really fast, surprisingly so it might be interesting. You might also like building a simple markdown blog with F# and Giraffe, which is basically how I'm running my sites today. And if you're interested in kind of like the more data layer, like how I was making those sentinels, how I was saving the data to Postgres, how I was getting it back out, you might be interested in getting started with F# and Entity Framework, which goes into the most popular ORM, the .NET ecosystem. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.